Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Kratom Gals. Before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our vendor of the month, Mitrospec. I happen to have some right here. They started their company in 2015 and built their reputation on transparency, quality, and genuine care for their customers, which I can attest to because I'm one of their customers. Every batch is third-party tested and it ships out the same day. You can get 40% off your order with code Kratom Stories. So big thank you to Sarah and Dan for supporting all the work we do here on the Kratom Gals show. And now it's time for the Kratom Gals, your weekly dose of real talk, real stories, and relentless advocacy. Each week we dive into the latest Kratom headlines, and sadly there are always so many each week. So there's never not enough to talk about around here. So we dive into those headlines, we react to videos, and we call out the misinformation with facts and a lot of passion. We do this because this plant we love has become a movement for so many of us. And by the way, if you didn't know, the Kratom Gals is 2 years old. Woohoo! We've been doing this for 2 years. We started December of 2023. So we've been doing this a while. We love coming together here and hanging out with this phenomenal community of ours. So I'm Madeline Sklar. I'm the host of this live stream series, as well as the Kratom Stories podcast and the Kratom Real Talk community. I've been a daily Kratom consumer for 6.5 years. It's been amazing for my chronic pain issues. It's been such a game changer for my quality of life. So that is why I'm a big advocate an educator. I spend a lot of time trying to educate people on what Kratom is and how it helps. So be sure to catch the latest episodes of the Kratom Stories podcast right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you won't ever miss them. We put out a new episode every Thursday afternoon. We do it as a premiere here on YouTube, so you can come hang out in the chat. It's kind of like this, but we're watching a recorded episode of the podcast, brand new, but we're in the chat together, hanging out and talking. It is so much fun. So if you haven't done that before, come join us Thursdays at 4:00 Eastern. It's okay if you can't make it live, though. The replay is available as soon as we finish the premiere, and you can always go in the comments and share your thoughts as well. And just a reminder, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We are not giving out medical advice here. We're here to share our personal experiences and advocate for responsible Kratom use. Now, let's bring up the gals. Hello, gals. How are y'all doing today?
Hi, everybody.
Good to see everybody.
Hi.
I love Saturdays. Saturdays are so much fun.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's kind of like resets my whole week and makes everything like I know next week's going to be great. I just love being here and talking to everybody.
Yeah, it's fun doing this. And Stephanie Sue's back with us.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Great to see you here with us. We've missed you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I've been advocating online for Kratom for years. But this is at this point, because I don't work in the industry anymore, this is really the only extracurricular Kratom activity that I do anymore, and I love it.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so glad we have a platform for you to come on and talk, because you have so much experience, and we haven't had Amanda with us in a while, and she, just like you, has all this experience in the industry, has so much knowledge. Y'all both were in customer service for different Kratom companies, and y'all both are not in the industry anymore, but y'all both have so much information to share and great insights, and we love it. So whenever either of y'all are available, I love having you on here, because we always get just a great look at things through your own lens.
Well, thank you.
And we got Twinkle here. Hey, Twinkle.
Hi, how are you, gals? I hope you're all well.
Good. I realized our names weren't on there. Yeah, it's great having everybody here. As usual, there's so much to watch and talk about. There's never a lack of information. So let me just go ahead and kick things off. But real quick, though, can you all believe 2 years old? We've been doing the Kratom Gals for
That's crazy.
I can't believe it. It's exciting, though, to see how far everybody has come, not just on the show, but watching everybody advocating and seeing the different ways everybody advocates and just gives to helps out. So it's just so exciting that it's been 2 years. I can't believe it's been 2 years.
I know, it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it at all. But yeah, we've made it our Saturday thing for years now, 2 years. So it was just this little idea I had, and I didn't know if anybody would wanna watch. But I'm so glad I was able to assemble a group of gals to come join me for this experimental idea, and it really took off immediately. I mean, people loved it and came back every week.
And they keep coming.
And we
Yeah.
love all of y'all. We have so many regulars. Y'all come here. Y'all are waiting for us to start. You're already here. You're in the comments like, "Hey, everybody!" We haven't even started at the top of the hour yet, and then y'all stay for the whole thing. It blows me away. And most people stay for the song at the end. I always thought people would just leave like once we're like, "Okay, bye everybody. Let me play a song to close this out, a cool Kratom song." And it's amazing that most people, the majority of people, stay because I can see how many people are here live with us. So it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Craig is asking, has anyone tried MGM 15? And if so,
Mm-mm.
compared to regular 7OH?
Mm-mm.
I'm not even sure what that is, honestly.
Oh, it's the next thing. Like,
Oh.
Yeah,
there's
not me.
already
course.
something else.
Of course there is.
So I mean, I've seen some people talking about it saying that it's not as strong, but I don't know. I just kind of casually, Christopher says, nope.
Not even interested.
I don't think.
I wouldn't. I'm not. Mm-mm. Nope.
And Mel says it's a research chemical. It's bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I have everything I need with the plant,
Me
and the things that
too.
are already
Me
here.
too.
Yeah. I don't
Me
need anything
too.
else.
Me too. So, and Christopher, thank you for live streaming our show to your X. So we are on X right now on his account. I see people are watching on X, so thank you. And he's also broadcasting this to his YouTube. Because with our YouTube here, you never know. We've been in.
Right.
I've had us in against my will. We've been in timeout twice in the past, like little over a month period of time. I first got placed in a 1 week. When y'all don't see us here, y'all just keep in mind, when we're not here, if we're not live streaming here, go to my new backup channel. It's at Kr8tom Real Talk. Kr8tom Real Talk. That's my other YouTube. Subscribe to it. That way you won't miss it. But that's where I had to live stream as our backup. And then Christopher has his, if you see that where he's commenting medicinal plant education. And he lost his Christopher Organic Botanicals YouTube. So that's his backup that he uses now. And so we are over there. So just know that we don't disappear. If we disappear, it's not by choice. It's because these platforms, I've already had a lot of issues with Facebook and TikTok as well. So sad. So I have backup accounts on TikTok. If you follow me there, that account could go at any time. I've been in so much trouble with them. I think it's one more strike and I'm out. So I do have a backup, Kr8tom Real Talk. So,
It's confusing though, because even if you're in timeout, it'll still send that notification out that you're going to be going live. So then people start to think that it's their connection or something like that. So if anybody gets that notification and you don't see it, just know that that's what's going on.
Exactly. Because, and it's a reminder, join us over on the school platform is Kr8tom Real Talk, Kr8tomrealtalk.com. I have a place for us. We can talk all about Kr8tom without censorship. So that's like, if anything, people need to be on there. I'm still going to be on social media. I know we all are going to still be on social media. But in addition to that, let's have a place where we will never get in trouble. I made sure of that. So that's why, and actually our Kr8tom Real Talk community is 2 years old as well. I started that in December of 2023. So y'all be sure if you have not joined us there, and if you have joined, but you haven't really done much over there, now's a good time to be hanging out with us more regularly there, because I know everybody right now is frustrated with Facebook. Facebook is going and deleting I'm sure a lot of y'all here have gotten the notifications that they've removed your posts that have the word Kr8tom in it. They've been on a rampage, and some people have lost their accounts over it. Becca has talked here about how she lost her Facebook, her longtime Facebook, because of it. I was not allowed to live stream on Facebook for a whole month because of it. And some of these posts were from 2 years ago. And I don't even live stream the Kratom Gals on my Facebook. I do my business stuff on Facebook, and they wouldn't let me do it for a month because, they had to slap me on the wrist because I was being bad by having the word Kratom. It's a mess. So Kratom Real Talk is always a place we can go. Craig says MGM15 was approximately 50 times more potent than that of morphine, whereas 7-OH is cited as being around 13 times more potent. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as 7-OH gets banned and is this what we're going to see on the shelves now? And if that's the case, then what was the point of them doing any of this?
Right.
Because it's like, replacing one with another.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Kathleen, good to see you. It's great seeing everybody here. We have such a great community. All right, let's get into the video. Yes, it's Kratom 30. I love that. It absolutely is Echo. I'm going to play some clips from our brand new Kratom Stories podcast episode with Dan Pita, who is from Mitrospec. I recently had his wife, Sarah, on the show. Great story. Great hearing how they discovered Kratom, their origin story, and how they started their business, Mitrospec. And it was because telling their friends are like, you're doing so great. What's going on with you? And they're telling them about Kratom, and they end up turning it into a business, which is an amazing story. So they're both the founders of it. And so Sarah came on the podcast first, and I really wanted to talk with Dan as well and hear his story. And it's really good. So let me play a clip for y'all from this episode. So let's watch this.
Back then, there wasn't a lot of information about Kratom available, but I think it was probably in a Reddit group or something, somebody was talking about it. So I decided to give it a try. I found a company that was selling it. I bought some, and I took it, and it worked. It immediately, but obviously once it started to get into my system, but within about 45 minutes or so after taking my very first dose, I started my research. I felt like I was pretty comfortable with what I had learned at that point, and I started buying more. And before too long, my coworkers were asking me why I was moving so differently, because they were used to seeing me get out of the truck and stiff, hunched over, just, visibly in some kind of discomfort every time I would see them.
I love that. It's just so cool that people noticing.
Yep. And that's what I think the real proof is in it. Like, you can't just tell people, they have to see you and notice. So I'm glad that that's how he found, people found out. I can't talk today, but I'm glad that's.
Yeah, it's always great when friends and family notice, they see that difference in you. Hey to Amanda Rayner, who's here in the comments. Thanks, Mel. Mel posted, it's so cool. I saw this last night on her TikTok. She had tagged me on Spotify. They do that wrapper thing where, you can click on it and they'll let you know what were the top shows you watched and all these different stats.
Oh yeah, the year wrap up.
Yeah. And so it showed Kratom Stories podcast at the top of her list. So she sent screenshots of it. And I did it on my end, which is the podcaster end of it. And it was really cool. I did that a few days ago. And it showed that we had a lot of regulars. And, I have us on Spotify. I always have. But I haven't put a whole lot of effort into I've been putting more effort into the YouTube version. I mean, we're everywhere. We're on Apple and Spotify and iHeart and Amazon. We're everywhere. But I didn't realize until recently that I can put a video version on Spotify as well. And I realized we do have a lot of listeners there. Bulk of our listeners are listening on Apple, then Spotify, then I don't remember what the others. There were kind of 3 top ones, but then scattered among all these others. And some people just listen through our website. Of course, a lot of people watch it here on our YouTube channel. But so now I'm putting video versions. I don't have it for all the episodes, but more recently I've been putting the video version up, and you can also put up a clip. And so I've been really liking that there's all these features I never really had looked into. So yeah, Mel says that she's #1 fan on Spotify. So I appreciate that. It was telling me like things like how many people were that my podcast was their number one, how many was top 10. Like they did like these different, 1, 10, and something else, I think it was. And it was just super interesting. I kind of like that.
That's
But
cool.
it really is cool. And I just love that we have listeners that really care about this and they keep coming back. And you can also comment on our Spotify. And I didn't realize you could do that. So I'm being good about paying attention to the comments and responding over there.
Right.
So I'm going to play another clip from Dan's episode that was really interesting. So let me play this for y'all.
With my very first dose, it worked perfectly. I did 1 teaspoon. I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6 foot, 230 pounds. So I wasn't too worried about, taking that size dose based on what I had read. I'm like, okay, it seems where a lot of people start. And I wasn't, again, because of the job, I wasn't taking any other substances or anything. I didn't have any kind of a tolerance to opioids or anything. So it worked at that dose immediately for me. And I just figured if that dose is working, then that dose is what I'm going to stick with. And I would say I probably raised my dose. It was very consistent for the first several years, and then it plateaued. It just tabletopped, and it hasn't really changed since. But so my very first dose was about 2.5 grams, and then about every year I would up it around 25%. And that seemed to work really well for me, keeping the dose low, preventing the tolerance build. I was, aware of how easy it is to build a tolerance by putting your dosings too close together. So I always wait at least 4 hours, even if I take it and I don't feel anything, and I say, "Oh, geez, I only took 4 capsules. I meant to take 6, or whatever." I'll just wait the 4 hours and deal with that, and then 4 hours later, I'll take the correct dose. I made that crucial error and learned my lesson very early on. It was Thanksgiving 2014, and I remember taking a dose when I got up, getting ready to help Sarah cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And while I was rushing around, I saw the bag sitting on the table and went, "Oh, I forgot to take my Kr8tom." And I grabbed it, I take another dose, probably about 40 minutes after I took the first one. So as soon as I took it, it starts working, and I'm like, "Uh-oh." So, about 40 minutes after that, I start getting the wobbles, and my vision's going in and out. And I'm like, "Oh man, this isn't fun." Laid down on the couch, and I was out for like 3 or 4 hours, and poor Sarah
Oh,
had to
no.
cook dinner herself. So, yeah, hard lesson learned about making sure that you're kind of consistent with your dosing, and not forgetting when you've taken it, or, accidentally taking more too soon.
I thought that was a great story. Like, how many people have like done that? Taking a little too much too soon, not paying attention to your dosing schedule. Anybody
Oh,
run
yeah.
I haven't done that often, but I know that if that I forget to take it, it lasts longer, because I'll make it and then I'll sit it down, and then I'll think I drank it because the pain is just not that bad yet. And then the pain will get worse, but I think I've already thought that I've drank it, so I can't figure out why. But I'm not making any sense today at all. Anyhow, I would never forget to take pain pills, but I always forget to take Kr8tom until my pain is just really bad.
Mhm.
I think that makes sense because I feel like, you set it down, you think you've drank it, and the pain's not that bad yet. And
Right.
then it starts to get worse, but you're just thinking that it's wearing off at that point.
Right.
I think I only had maybe one time that I might have felt, I'm not sure what the wobblies are, but like a little faint nausea or something. And usually I take around 4 grams, like right away when I wake up. And then I just sip throughout the day, or I'm not really on a schedule for it. More, I guess, as an as needed type of thing.
And I could see where that's how you could run into like accidentally taking too much. I don't know. I guess it depends, because if you're just taking it as you feel you need it, then you're probably, but I can see where you see it out and you're like, "Oh, I didn't take it yet." And you take it and you're like, oh, but you did already take it earlier. I'm on a schedule. That's what always worked for me. And so I haven't really run into that issue. The only time I've ever run into like the wobbles is when I guess it's like sometimes when you're trying a new batch of kratom and it's stronger than the previous or just stronger in general and but you don't know and you're making your usual amount and it's like, whoa, that hit way stronger. Like I didn't need as much of that one. So I've had that happen.
Yeah.
But also it was before companies were putting the amount of the MIT on the packaging or
Right.
easily getting the QR code with the certificate of analysis where you can see like how much is in there. And a lot of us did, Craig, also known as Mike, saying journaling your dose. I did that for a long time in the beginning. I just kept a dose journal. It really helped. And yeah, with the wobbles, your eyes go back and forth. It does. It just feels like your eyeballs are like,
I've
whoa.
never felt like that any time, so I'm not sure what it feels like. So
When I took white, so when I was new, and I was told try each one at a time, and I'll never forget. I tried the white kratom, like full dose, and I remember I was outside. I went outside. I think I was walking my dog. I was doing something outside, and I just felt like my eyeballs were just. It's like I
Yep.
was like, this is too much. This is like over caffeinated or something. I was like, that's not good. I did not like that at all.
It's almost like you're over caffeinated, but also physically, it's almost like you're having trouble staying awake at the same time too. Like your eyes feel super heavy as well.
Interesting.
I think the best thing to do when you feel the wobbles is just lay down for a little bit, let it pass. That's what I did back then. Hi, Cassandra. I'm so glad you found us too. We've got this, which is the live stream, the Kratom Gals. We do this every Saturday afternoon. We also have the Kratom Stories podcast. New episodes come out every Thursday afternoon. And then I got just a bunch of YouTube shorts I post. So we don't really have a topic of the day. We just talk about a variety of things. You'll see it's a fun show. We watch videos, we talk about it and react. So we were just watching a clip from the new Crime Stories podcast episode and talking about the wobbles. So you'll love this. And we always have very interesting conversations. So having Dan on the podcast, one of the things he had done was make a video. I'm going to play this short video he's made of like capsules and how quickly they dissolve. Now a lot of us have talked about like, oh, I don't like taking kratom capsules. I just don't feel like they dissolve well. That, makes my stomach bloated and just don't feel good. Well, in that episode, and so for those that haven't seen the new episode, be sure to watch it. It's really good. He has a whole conversation about the whole vegan capsules versus the gelatin capsules. And if you don't know, gelatin capsules are made with animal parts. And I remember he specifically said bovine, and I remember I made a face when he said that. But when you watch the episode, the camera is just on him. But I remember because you don't think about that, right? You don't think about the animal parts that are used to make so many things we ingest, right? But they're known for using the vegan capsules, and what that means is that it's made with it's called pullen. And he talked about in the podcast, is actually tapioca starch. And so it's easier to digest. And it basically, opens up faster and easier. So what he did is he made a video to show it in action by trying to recreate the environment of your stomach by putting some capsules in warm water and stirring it a bit to help it dissolve. So let me play. It's just a really short, like 1 minute, but it's super interesting that he had put this together. So interesting, isn't that, to like see how quickly they're able to dissolve?
Yep.
Right. Because I think with regular capsules, in my mind, uh, if I were to do it, it would just be one blob of
Mhm.
just capsule gel. So, and I also think that that would affect, like, if you're taking capsules and then decide to switch to regular powder, I would definitely recheck your dose, because the capsules, the other capsules take so much longer to
That's
dissolve.
right.
So,
I
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah. Yep.
I also, and this is just a theory, I can't confirm this, but I'm not a capsule person. If I take too many, and my dose is, for somebody my size, I consider it rather large. It's about 2 teaspoons. So, I mean, that's quite a few capsules. So every time I've ever had to take capsules as my dose, it's kind of, after a while, hurt my stomach. So I've never really been a capsules person. But back when I was working for the vendors, I was doing reviews. And so I would use capsules sometimes. And the vegan capsules, I noticed, were, they didn't cause any issues for me. But one of my theories is I do think capsules affects the absorption rate. I don't know if it throws off like the acidity within your stomach or something like that, because the stomach acid is what breaks the alkaloids down, because that's how it's, the alkaloids start to become active. So I do think that capsules have something to do with the absorption rate when it comes to mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine. And like I said, I can't confirm that, but that is one of my theories.
It makes sense. It's a good theory because I would actually agree with it. That would just make perfect sense. And if the capsules aren't opening, well, for me, they don't open, and I actually potty them out. I mean, I don't know if that happens to other people.
Yeah, it can.
It just didn't have, it wasn't effective. Then it was backing up in me, and they weren't dissolving. So I do use the powder, but the film that we just watched, the little snippet, that's good to know that they're using a different type
right.
that wouldn't be all that other. So maybe I would try it again one day, but your theory makes perfect sense.
Yeah. You actually see them dissolve in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to try the vegan ones now that I've learned about this, because I always had issues with capsules when I did that in the beginning of my Kratom journey, and I did poke the holes. I know Lois did a comment saying she pokes the holes. People said to do that. I did that too. Didn't make any difference when I did that. I would always just feel just kind of nauseous and bloated every time I did, a bunch of capsules. So I just sucked it up, did the powder, even though it tasted horrible, but I just was determined to figure out how to make Kratom work for my chronic pain. So, and it did when I just did the regular powder. But I just love learning all these new things. So now we know pull-in capsules means that they're vegan. And Christopher was saying that his are vegan as well. Didn't know
No.
that. So that's good to know. So we're learning lots here. Cassandra has a question. Do you guys know about or affiliate with the AKA American Kratom Association? Well, yeah, I mean, that's big advocacy group. I'm on their email list so I can stay informed of everything going on. What about you all?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
uh, exactly. Been connected with the AKA for quite some time, few years, and try to keep up on everything that's going on through them. Hmm.
And
Yeah,
same here from the beginning. That's where you sign up for their email list, and they'll send you the emails and tell you what to do at the different hearings. So yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Hmm.
yeah. Deborah's here. Hey, Deborah. I just interviewed her for the podcast. Y'all are going to love her.
Not
There was a question from Extreme. What does the tea have a quicker onset than capsules or toss and wash, stronger or weaker?
I would
I
say,
find it quicker because you're not waiting
yeah.
for the capsule to release inside you. So it's definitely.
I will say this though, and this has just been my experience, but so if I mix it up in water, now this doesn't really matter if I mix in the lemon juice as well, but if I mix it up in water, I have found that, as opposed to, just because I can toss and wash too, and if I'm traveling and I really am just trying to do something quickly, I'll toss and wash if I absolutely have to, especially if I don't have any lemon juice around. But when I toss and wash on a regular basis, I find that constipation does become an issue. But if I mix the raw plant matter into water, doesn't matter if I have lemon juice or not. But as long as I'm mixing it into some kind of liquid before I drink it, I find that I don't have the constipation issue like at all. It's been years since I've had it.
Yeah.
Same. And I think that's another reason why I drink the swamp water as much as I do, because I can add more water to it and then drink
Right.
some. All I drink normally is just either water or water mixed with kratom tea. So mostly water though.
If anyone in the chat has had the constipation issue, please know you're not alone. There is even a Facebook group. I don't know if everybody else here knows this. I think I've mentioned it once or twice before, but there is a Facebook group on Facebook. It's not a secret group. It's a private group, so you do have to request to join. But it's called Kratom Poop Club. And
Uh-oh.
that's where we discuss all of our bathroom / kratom issues. And it makes you, I don't know, it makes you feel like not as crazy and not
Oh my
alone.
God. How did I not know about that? I don't know.
That's
It's not
perfect.
super active anymore, but there's some good posts in there, like good tips and tricks, and just, knowing that you're not alone helps.
Well, I'll share my best tip that's always worked for me. So, but I'm gonna first say it started in pain management because narcotics do the same thing. They cause me
Right.
to get backed up. I mean, I've had serious issues with that when I was in pain management one time, to the point that I ended up in the ER. So, because it was so bad, when it was the craziest thing years ago. Government policies, is always something with damn government policies and insurance. And they made changes. They did not want people like us to have a whole lot of pills every month, because when you're in pain management, the short acting, you usually have hundreds of them every 30 days, right? It's a huge amount. If you're prescribed, like, an example for me, I'd be prescribed 6 Percocets a day. That was just for the breakthrough. So they don't want us having all these pills. So they got really strict on pain management. This would have been when this happened to me, it was 2011 or 12. I think it was 2012. The doctor was forced to switch me from short acting to long acting. And he switched me to morphine long acting. It was like these morphine capsules twice a day. Morphine does not work on me. I have a history of morphine. When you go to the ER, this was a long time ago, but they always like to do ER for, morphine for ER way back a long
Yes.
time ago. I don't know if they do anymore, but
No.
I think it's fentanyl now. But oh my God, it doesn't work on me at all, IV or oral. I told the doctor, I said, it doesn't work on me. I don't know why, it just doesn't. He goes, look, this is being dictated to us, and based on like my insurance, we're trying to find one that they would cover. And it was the only long acting we saw that would be covered. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to suck. So I had to suffer for like a month or two because it didn't work. And you know what it did? It caused me to get an impacted bowel, because it was so much, even though it was super strong and didn't affect me, the constipation was unreal, and it got so
Mhm.
bad, like I had to go get medical intervention. I called the doctor after dealing with that, and I said, I'm not ever taking that again. I told him what happened. So he was able to put that on file and tell the insurance we have to put her back on what works for her. But it's so ridiculous that I'm sure others here in our community that have been in pain management have other stories too, just crazy stories. Well, ever since that incident, he told me that I'm pretty sure I was already doing like, what's the over the counter one? The real Ducala. No, what's like the little pill, the one that you can take multiple times a day?
Dulcolax.
It's I just can't think of the name of it, but there's Senna S. So Senna S is the combination of the softener and laxative. It's a 2-in-1. And I learned about it from him because he told me, go get Senna S. It's over the counter. Take it 3 times a day, and that should take care of things for you moving forward. And if you have more issues, then I'm going to prescribe something for this. But he goes, let's see if we can get to work over the counter first. And Senna S was the best thing ever. And so that was what I ended up using for years, to combat constipation with opiates. And then when I switched to Kratom, everybody kept talking about how bad constipation is. I thought, well, I'll just keep taking my Senna S. Now I only take it twice a day. I think I was able to go down to twice a day when I started Kratom. I think I was still at 3 a day, and then I switched to twice a day. This is just my personal experience. I'm not telling anybody to go buy this. I'm not telling anybody to go do this. I'm just sharing my personal experience, and that has always worked for me. So 6.5 years into my Kratom journey, I still take that twice a day. and I've never had any constipation issues. So I also take a magnesium supplement at night, but it's knowing your body and what works and speaking to your doctor.
Right.
That's always the best advice.
I agree.
So,
Yep, I agree.
but Senate S is widely available at grocery store, drugstore. I always just get the generic, whatever at the store, because the
Like the
brand
store
one,
brand.
the brand one, like the actual brand is pretty pricey.
It's the store brands probably have the same ingredients, I would assume.
It says it does. So,
And sometimes they're even made by the same company.
right. But yeah, magnesium is really popular for helping with constipation.
That's what I use.
Yeah, I use the one I use in the evening. I've been using for years now is called Calm, CALM. I heard about it from Joey Talks back when he had his YouTube before he lost it. He was such a great educator in the Kratom community, and then he lost his account. YouTube literally deleted his account one day. But I'd heard about Calm being great as more like a nighttime calming, but also it's magnesium, and so yeah, I've been using that for years. And I love it.
Nice.
So Cassandra says that Kratom has been helping with menopause issues. That's cool to hear. Has anybody else?
It hasn't, well, maybe, I really can't tell. So I'm glad if somebody's able to pinpoint and know precisely what the tea is helping them for, like it is for
Right.
her. Well, I can't tell. I still have the symptoms, but I would imagine it is helping in one manner or another with
Yeah.
it.
I was
Yeah,
on
and
the Miranda IUD for a little over 5 years, and it didn't throw me into menopause or anything, but it does kind of trick your body into thinking that you're premenopausal, so you have some symptoms. And I would say that Kratom would help with like the mood thing. Definitely, because it's like you have way less patience when your body's going through those types of things. And it would help with the aches. The only thing I think that it made not necessarily worse, but just didn't help with was like, because my body would go through like the hot flashes. Kratom, it didn't help with that at all. But
Right.
as long as you stay hydrated, I don't think it makes it worse.
I think it has helped mood, but
right.
so when you think, or we often think of menopause, we do think of hot flashes, and it didn't much. I don't think it's helped with that, but I wouldn't be able to quite tell, but I think it did alleviate mood, and how the mood swings,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or the parent.
And for me, the same. I can't say anything about the hot flashes because I think I have more when I take the reds, but I don't know if it's because I sleep more or not. But I had the Lupron shots. They put me in menopause. And then I had the hysterectomy. So I've always had those symptoms. And I really think the mood thing is what it really helps out as far as that goes, more than anything.
Agreed.
It's such a great conversation. This is awesome. Have y'all heard about what happened in Florida with this huge gun and
No.
70H bust that just happened? Has anybody
No.
heard about that?
Yeah.
I have a video to show y'all. So it's a news story that also includes I think it was the sheriff department, or I don't know what it was, but like they did this long video talking about this guy they busted and showing all this stuff, and they have it on Facebook. But this news report combines both, so it's kind of long. It's about 8 minutes long, but this is quite interesting. So if y'all
Very worth it. Yeah.
haven't seen this yet, is super interesting. If you don't know, in Florida, they did an emergency ban on 70H. It is deemed illegal now, been taken off the shelves. They're going after it really hard there. But my understanding, an emergency ban, isn't that just for a period of time? I mean, they still got other hoops to go through, I think, with that. I mean, I think my understanding, emergency ban is like, okay, they deemed it illegal, so immediately they took, say this cannot be on the shelves, you cannot sell this.
still more process that has to.
Right. I would think so. I would think
But
somebody would have to
Right.
vote on it.
Right.
like, how long does an emergency ban last? I guess is my question. I'm not really sure.
Right. And somebody would have to vote on all those specific details, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
While you play that clip, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT a couple of questions, see what it comes out with, and we could talk about it at the end.
Yeah, because I'm just Crazy Leg says, yeah, emergency ban in Florida is a year. So an emergency can be a whole year. So then that gives the Florida legislators like a year to figure out what they want to do, I guess. Interesting. All right, let me play this because this is wild, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to Live Now from Fox. We're turning our attention to a story that takes us down to Florida after more than 90,000 pounds of a substance or a drug said to contain deadly amounts of opioid was seized in northern Florida. Joining us live now to discuss this and bring an update to this entire situation is Fox 35 Orlando's Marley Capper. She is joining us now. Marley, this is a huge amount that was seized by police.
Good morning. Yeah, the suspect has actually had prior involvement with police as early as the age of 19. That's according to the sheriff's office here. And right now they're calling this case Breaking Bad on steroids. Take a look at the video. You can see the deputies say they teamed up with the DEA, ATF, and Palm Bay police to confiscate 92,000 pounds of a substance used to make a drug known as 7-OH, a drug that's 3 times stronger than morphine. Florida recently passed an emergency law banning it. Investigators say the suspect, 26-year-old Maxwell Horvata, also had materials to create large amounts of explosives, along with 3 dozen guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition.
Folks, this is what danger looks like right here. Everything that you see behind us, everything you see in front of us is a red flag for disaster. It is I mean, you look, the guy was making his own suppressors, fully automatic weapons, explosive devices. This guy was either looking to engage war or looking to arm those and furnish to those that are. And you see, even had, as you can see in the video, even had a 50 cal on a tripod, ready to do serious damage.
The sheriff's office says this is the largest seizure of its kind in U.S. history, and that Horvacha could spend the rest of his life in federal prison. Currently, he is in the Brevard County Jail. Sheriff Wayne Ivey says he is waiting on federal indictment. For now, reporting live for Live Now with Fox, Marley Capper. We'll send these back to you.
All right, Marley, thanks so much for joining us there in Brevard County. I do want to take us out to some more of that footage that we have here, courtesy of investigators who seized all of these illegal drugs. And as you heard from Marley's report there, she played a little bit of an update that we had from those same investigators. I do have the full presser, if you could say, or the news conference that was released not too long, about 5 minutes, but it really breaks down just how serious this case is. As Marley had said, this is the largest drug bust in the nation's history.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and I'm standing here with Palm Bay Chief Agello. We're going to give you a breakdown on a case that our agencies work today along with DEA, ATF, other federal task force members. I'm going to start out by saying what you see lying on the table in front of us with all the guns. A lot of these weapons are automatic weapons. We'll get into some of the meat and potatoes of this in just a second. But what's even more concerning, the boxes that you see behind us, and I'm going to step out of the way where you can take a good look at them. All of these boxes contain, and this is just half of it, by the way, it goes all the way back, contain 92,000 pounds of a extracted substance that's taken out of Kr8tom, the substance Kr8tom, taken out of Kr8tom, and it makes it what's called 7-0, which recently the Florida legislature did an emergency bill to make 7-0 illegal here in the state of Florida. Maxwell Horvath is who we have in custody for this. Chief, I know you've got the briefing as well as I have. Search warrant earlier this morning. Our team went out, as I said, agents from all the different agencies involved, feds and local law enforcement, working on this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Maxwell Horvath, and then the chief's going to talk about some of the things that he had inside. 26 years old, In 2017, now remember, he's just 26 years old. In 2017, he served 2 years in federal prison for possession of an explosive device, trafficking in MDMA. He got 2 years of federal probation. Well, he's got a lot more coming now, including pending federal indictments that are coming on him. Chief, if you'll talk a little bit about the explosive stuff they found in the warehouse.
I appreciate it. Great collaboration, as you mentioned, by all agencies and departments involved. But yeah, so for example, improvised explosive devices, 5 IEDs were located on this property where the warrant was initiated at. Not to mention grenade simulators and 50 pounds of precursor chemicals to make explosives. So we're not just talking about drugs. We're not just talking about, illegal substances out in the streets. We're talking about explosive devices, things that the military are utilizing and other countries are utilizing all over the world to take out populations of people. I said, this is
terrorist activities across the board. When you look at the explosive devices, as the chief said, 50 pounds. In addition to that, and I'm gonna read it off: 12 rifles, 1 short-barreled rifle, 17 pistols, 3 shotguns, 1 revolver, 2 fully automatic submachine guns, 3 suppressors, and thousands of rounds of ammunition. And then, as I said, on top of that, 92,000 pounds. From everything that we can tell from our federal partners, this is the largest seizure of this kind in the country. Nobody's ever been able to do this. As I said, Florida recently passed an emergency law making the 7.0 substance, the derivative of the kratom, making it illegal. The best part of this is Horvath knows it's illegal, but thinks he's circumventing the system. He actually runs a business called Overseas Organics. And he thinks that because you go there and make a purchase, or you make a purchase online and he ships it out of the state of Florida, he's not violating the law. Well, trick or treat, he is. Not only is he violating the law for that, but all the weapons, all the explosive devices, everything else that he has is going to land him in prison for the rest of his life. Now, back in September, our agents worked together, made buys from Horvath. He actually even gave him a tour of his business. I mean, he's proud of his business. And you're seeing in some of the film that we're rolling now for you, the business. This thing looked like Breaking Bad on steroids is what it looked like. He had it lined up with all sorts of different chambers and rooms and sterile environments, everything else. And they were taking it, extracting it, putting it in compressing machines. As I said, his company would ship it out. And he would, even if you went there and made the purchase, he would tell you he's got to ship it to somebody in another state, because that way he thought it made it legal. Well, it didn't. All right. And he's in custody. We're still putting all the charges on him. I can tell you right now, he's going to have automatically 36 counts possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 1 count possession of short-barreled rifle, 2 counts possession of short-barreled machine gun, and then more charges coming for the explosives. So
yeah, Sheriff, it's like you said, 26 years old, already pretty much a career offender, started at the age of 17, federal charges, federal indictments. He has no regard for the sanctity of life. And great job by your folks, man. It was great collaboration.
Yeah, great job by our agents, our local partners, our federal partners. Folks, this is what danger looks like right here. Everything that you see behind us, everything you see in front of us is a red flag for disaster. It is I mean, you look, the guy was making his own suppressors, fully automatic weapons, explosive devices. This guy was either looking to engage war or looking to arm those and furnish to those that are. And you see, even had, as you can see in the video, even had a 50 cal on a tripod, ready to do serious damage. So he's locked up. He's in Ivy's Iron Bar Lodge. He's going to stay there. As I said, he's got pending federal indictments. Those indictments will make sure that he spends the rest of his life right where he deserves, and that's in prison. But great job by all of our team. 92,000 pounds of this synthetic substance. So great job. We'll get you more information as this thing continues, but I just wanted to get this out to everybody so that they could see the great work our team's doing, and also know that this individual's off the streets and locked behind.
Oof. That was quite a story, huh?
That's a lot.
Ooh.
That's
So
crazy to me.
They said that was extracted, to make 7-OH, you got to have kratom extracts. They first extract kratom and then you make 7-OH. So that's a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
That was a lot. And a
He's in,
lot of weapons.
he's in a lot of trouble. He's never getting out.
Nope.
No.
But
I
at
don't.
least he had a sterile look. I gotta go both sides of it. At least he had a
I
sterile
was thinking the same
environment.
thing.
I was too. I was
mean,
too.
yeah.
Back when those big basically before like AKA was super well known, and the Facebook groups were doing like vetted vendors, and they'd have their vetted vendor list. That was one of the things they were checking for, those types of sterile room and environments. So
Give
at
him
least
that.
he would have been a vetted vendor.
Yep. We want clean. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, whoops.
Right.
Push my but he's in a lot of trouble. And of course we don't know what the intention of the weapons were.
I
And
think he was probably
Right.
selling them. I mean, when he said,
Yeah.
going to war or
don't
setting up to go to
believe
war.
them. I also don't always believe law enforcement and all them, because they also do things that, I mean, and I'm not putting any down either. My dad was a sheriff. My dad
Right.
was a cop. My son is in law enforcement. He works a couple days a week on the side moonlighting for his other job. I have family and very close people who are officers, and then you've got the news on top of it that likes to make everything bigger. 1 minute 7.0 is 3 times stronger than morphine, or 7.0 is, then it's 13 times, and then it's 50 times, and just tell somebody how much stronger it is than something and not keep giving different reasons for it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like always changing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
But I agree with what Christopher said. His facility did look pretty darn good. Like it
Yep.
looked clean.
Right.
Like, as far as the whole 7.0 Kratom stuff. I mean, Christopher says it looked better than American Shaman. American Shaman's the one that's been making it. He's a real big 7.0H manufacturer. I haven't seen what his facility looked like, but this kid had a pretty clean looking facility.
That is important, because we want to know whether or not 7.0 is getting banned or otherwise. The people who are purchasing it, including myself, I want to know that it comes from a clean source and you're not getting, rat poop or dust or other contaminants, even
Right.
people's
Yeah.
body shed into
Yep.
a product and then onto the shelf, and we're buying that. So I give that person that credit.
Yeah, but it's a bad look for the industry.
Oh, yeah.
A very, very
Yeah.
bad look.
Absolutely.
And but the sheriff's office also seemed pretty excited to really push this narrative and
Yeah.
Breaking
A
Bad
little
on
too
steroids.
excited.
I mean, Breaking Bad on
Correct.
steroids. What was that about? Let's
Correct.
grab the public's attention.
It's
Let's
to
come up with a
boast the
catchy.
story. Exactly. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. There's been an interesting story out of Kansas City, which is where American Shaman is, where they're headquartered at. And I've heard they've been raided, taking their 7.0H products, because they're one of the big manufacturers. But there have been a lot of news stories coming out of Kansas City right now. So let me play this next one. Stephanie, did you get any information through ChatGPT?
I did actually. It's not super clear, but it basically said at minimum that the temporary ban would be 90 days, and at maximum it would be until June 30th when they have like their next meeting to review that.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought a temporary was 90 days.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Apparently, it doesn't have to be. Like, it's not set in stone. Like, that's just general.
Like they could probably extend it.
Right.
So, yeah, let me play this news story for y'all. There are lots of news stories this week, as always.
And KCTV5 gets rare access inside the production of a controversial drug.
In October, we first reported on rising concerns over a synthetic Kr8tom product known as 7.0H. Tonight, we're hearing from the man who created it.
KCTV5 anchor Zach Summers takes us inside his operation.
This is a product that the world needs to have.
Meet Vince Sanders, president and founder of Kansas City-based CBD American Shaman. The company is one of the largest makers of 7-hydroxymetrogenin, or 7.0H. It's a lab-made derivative of Kr8tom,
We're really a science-based company.
I think I understand now why Christopher said that the other guy's facility was a lot cleaner than his. I mean, those two different shots in that facility did not look very clean, did it? It looked it looked quite interesting. So I now I see what he meant by that, because I hadn't really watched the details of this one yet.
Sanders says demand for 7-OH is massive.
You're literally talking about hundreds of millions of individual doses a year.
The drug is sold in gas stations and smoke shops across the metro. Sometimes called gas station heroin, it's unregulated in most states, including Missouri and Kansas.
This isn't gas station heroin, it's anything but. It's the answer to heroin.
The substance has been widely criticized for its potent opioid-like effects, with reports of addiction and withdrawal. Sanders insists it's safe.
Your liver would convert 25% of that nitroguanine into 7-OH. We're just giving you the 7-OH to save your liver the work. 7-OH naturally.
He gave us rare access to one of the company's 7 warehouses to show us how 7-OH is made.
That doesn't look very clean at all.
No,
Oh my God. You know, when Christopher says gets worse,
No.
you are not kidding. Oh my God. So, okay. Wow.
Yeah, it all started here.
Inside large reactors, nitrogenin is chemically transformed into 7-OH. The mixture is then separated into layers.
You'll see dark float to the top and clear to the bottom.
The material is dried into a powder and moved into a vacuum oven.
That's 7-OH. And it'll sit in here for 24 hours to pull off any residual solvents.
Sanders has faced mounting legal trouble since starting mass production of 7-OH in early 2024. Months after, Kansas City shut down his operation here on Southwest Boulevard over safety concerns. Sanders says he's working with the city to reopen the warehouse, but his problems go far beyond the local level.
A week before Thanksgiving, Missouri's Attorney General launched an investigation into Sanders' company and 5 others focused on potentially deceptive sales of Kr8tom and 7-OH. Court documents show that same month, federal agents seized 7-OH products from 2 of Sanders' warehouses, arguing they violate federal food, drug, and cosmetic laws.
You're getting pushback from all sides. At one point, do you take a step back and consider 7-OH is the problem or could be the problem?
We're not going to take something off the market unless we have to. Not as long as it's helping people.
State and county health departments across the U.S. have issued warnings about 7-OH. In October, Los Angeles County, California linked 6 overdose deaths to the drug, which has never been clinically studied in humans.
We're not going to back down.
Kansas U.S. Senator Roger Marshall is now urging the DEA to classify 7-OH as a Schedule I controlled substance.
There's no meaningful, purposeful use for this drug.
His concerns are partly tied to findings from Lenexa-based clinical reference lab. They tested human samples looking for how prevalent the drug is in our community.
And it scared me like immediately.
When looking at all opioids, the company found 7-OH had a positive rate as high as fentanyl, Oxycontin, and hydrocodone combined.
We do work for the government all the time. In this case, we're trying to ask the government to study something and to do something.
We're 100% behind studying it, right? But don't get rid of it.
In a world grappling with an opioid crisis, Sanders believes he's found the answer. Critics say he's created a new problem.
This is too important of a mission to just let go. So we're going to fight it.
Zach Summers, KCTV5 News.
Sanders says he supports regulation of 7-OH, but opposes a full ban. It says Kansas City will consider banning the sale of the product next week. Sanders says even if the drug is pulled from all markets across the nation, the company already has another product ready to replace it.
Oh my God. Did you hear how they ended that? That Sanders says
Yeah.
they already have another drug to replace it. And that's
Yep.
probably the MGM. what
Yep.
was it?
There's
What
always
was
gonna be something.
What was it? MGM 15?
Mm-hmm.
MGM and a number. I think it was 15.
If it wasn't that, it'd be something else.
Be something else, yeah.
It always,
Yeah, he didn't seem too concerned.
it'll always be that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sadly.
And plain leaf tea is just plain leaf tea. We can't keep changing it up. It's the way it comes from the tree.
That's
Mhm.
right.
That's true too. That's right.
When they said it was like combining fentanyl, was it Oxycontin, codone, fentanyl?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
The
It's
dramatics.
It's very dramatic. Very dramatic.
Yeah,
Because I haven't seen
fear.
that one anywhere. I mean, there have been some studies, not clinical studies. Well, actually, Dr. Kirsten Smith's been doing, I believe, a clinical study right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
On addiction with 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
hop
we'll
off here, guys.
help you out with Becca.
Thank
So
you so much for
It's good
having
to
me. Though. I
see
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah,
always
thank you.
want.
It's good to see you too.
Thank
Yeah, it
you.
was great having you, Stephanie Sue. We've missed you. Let me
Yeah.
bring Becca up for a second so she can say hi to you. I know everybody knows
Hi.
everybody.
Hey, girl.
Hey, good to see you.
You too.
The
Oh,
OG.
hang on. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Baby Nack, you go ahead. Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Wait.
Oh, be
And
queen.
what do all the kids say? 6, 7.
Aw.
So real quick, they went to a parade last night, and he was in one of the floats in the parade, and he was waving at all the kids, saying "Merry Christmas," and he was doing the 6, 7 thing like with his hands, and he had whole groups of kids doing it back. Yeah, I just
Aw.
no, it's okay, buddy. YouTube has strict standards on kids.
Oh, how cute.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for having me. You have a good night.
Hi, Stephanie
Okay,
Sue.
bye-bye.
And baby Naku. Hey, Becca. Good
Hi.
to see you
Hi, friends. Good to see you.
for the second hour. God, that first hour
Hey.
was fast.
It did.
Whew,
It flew by.
it did fly
Yes.
by. Did you see what video we were just watching with Florida
No, I was
before
trying
the
to
last
catch
one?
up though. You were talking about Dr. Kristen doing a study
Yeah,
on
isn't she doing a
addiction.
7-0 study right now? I believe she is.
I do believe so too. If it's not her, it's somebody else because I did see something about that online this
I'm
week.
pretty sure it's her. I'm
I
pretty sure.
think so because last
Yeah,
year they were asking for
they
participants.
were. Yeah, she
I
was looking for them.
applied, but I don't know if I sent them the wrong accident because I didn't get a response whatsoever. And it did say if you've applied, don't do it a second time. But I would have thought I would at least have got an email that said we received it and you don't
Oh.
qualify or you don't, like, there was nothing. And then I never retried. So it is her. I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Yeah.
she's definitely working on one.
Yeah, there are several different studies. I know the FDA has commissioned a study here in Houston where I'm at through Baylor, some kind of kratom study that I think maybe an addiction one, but I know Dr. Kirsten Smith's doing a 7-OH one. So there'll be more. I agree with Crazy Legs. I mean, the MGM 15 is legal still. They're all just going to do that now.
Yeah, it's just going to go on and on and on.
Yep.
I mean, what's going to stop that? What's going to stop, that and the next thing and the next thing? If they stop one, they're just going to keep putting more, and it's just going to keep making the kratom natural leaf part of the industry look worse and worse, I imagine.
Yeah,
I
As
agree.
this
Right.
keeps happening. So
Absolutely. It's concerning.
it is. It
I
is.
just wish they would have left kratom alone and even the 7-0, put caps on the 7-0 so that it wouldn't be in excessive amounts.
Right.
We need to be responsible, accountable, get out of hand, take care of ourselves, jump in, get off of it or reduce or whatever we're supposed to do to, to manage ourselves, leave it alone. And maybe all these other ones, they would have still come out because innovation is always going to happen. People are always going to tinker and there's always going to be more products.
Right.
But it might
I
not
agree with that.
go fast. It could have just maybe been, eased along the way or something. And now it's just going to go on and on and on. And I have so far said, I'll never touch MGM 15, 16 and all those. But you know what? It depends on how desperate you get, how much pain relief you need and how much.
Exactly.
I wish they wouldn't have touched or, they would have regulated the 7 and then left it alone. And
Yeah.
all arrest alone because I would have never had to look for anything else, but
Yep, exactly. And done it responsibly without those names, without calling it Kratom, without giving out the free samples.
And all that.
Yeah, there's.
The drug names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to see, like, I'm starting to really see the domino effect in the community, and so many people, you know, are without what they need, and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's an industry that needs regulation,
Absolutely.
you know, and that would make such a difference.
Definitely.
I got one more news story out of Spokane, Washington. They're coming after Kratom now. I mean, it's just one location after another. And just a reminder to people that if you live in these locations where they're trying to ban it, be sure to get actively involved. You know, reach out to your local reps, speak up. If you follow the American Kratom Association, they send out emails regularly and they give us direction on what the rest of us can do when we don't live there. Many times we can still fill out a form, or they'll give us the email addresses and you can still email your story or call them. So, and I know the AKA is having a webinar coming up. Everyone in our community as a Kratom consumer should get on the email list for American Kratom Associations, AmericanKratom.org, and GKC, Global Kratom Coalition, and that's globalkratomcoalition.org. And those are the two consumer advocacy groups, and it's just the best way for us to stay involved because there's always so much going on. It's really hard to stay on top of it. And ever since Facebook got so strict with the word Kratom, you know, it's even harder to stay on top of all the advocacy stuff.
Every day.
Used to be easier because you could get so much information from Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Utah's having stuff come up too. And Laura Romney, I can't remember her email address. I meant to email it, but she's asking for people to email her about the Utah things too.
Oh, Utah is, oof. They're going after Utah pretty hard. Yeah.
And that
Hey,
one
Rhea.
is shocking to me more than anything because it's where it kind of started at, you
The
know?
first KCPA, Crime Consumer Protection Act, was signed in Utah. And apparently this is it a senator? I think it's a senator, right? A Utah senator that's going really hard on this right now. Apparently he was for it years ago when they did the KCPA. Now he's flipped and he is going after it.
Yeah.
He seems to be.
That's
wonder who got in his pocketbook.
Yeah.
Or in his pocket.
Right.
Yeah, so sad because I think Orrin Hatch, the senator at the time of 2016, he was a big voice for us, and he's always been a big voice for herbal, you know.
Right. Well, he was part of that whole DeShay Act that happened. He was responsible for that, right? And it turns out he was a Kratom consumer. Mac Howdell's talked about that. He was a Kratom consumer himself. It's like what? That came to light pretty recently. That was something that all of a sudden, you know, has been mentioned. It's like what? But yeah, it's so interesting. I'm gonna play the last story. Is just this real short one out of Spokane, Washington. That's now under attack.
Spokane is taking its first steps to ban the sale of Kratom. It's marketed as a supplement, often sold in gas stations, convenience stores, and smoke shops. But doctors say it can have opioid-like effects. Today, Spokane's Public Safety Committee discussed making it illegal to sell Kratom in Spokane.
If passed, it would be the first city in Washington to ban it. The DEA classifies Kratom as a drug. Mary Sheridan joins us live outside of a store that's advertising Kratom. So, Mary, it comes in a variety of packaging.
That's right. It's sold in many different forms, as in capsules, tablets, and even powders. This is what's marketed as a Kratom shot. It's 1 fluid ounce, but if you read the fine print carefully, it's actually recommended to be 3 separate servings. Healthcare workers warn that Kratom is strong and not FDA approved. Today, I spoke with one man who recounted his slippery slope into Kratom addiction. Cody Chapman first heard of Kratom from a friend.
He's like, oh, you know, it's kind of like a 5-hour energy, you know, it gives me a little boost of energy, and buy it from this little corner store down the road.
But it didn't take long for the drug to take over his life.
I was spending upwards of $1,000 a week on it. Then you could easily do that. And I did that for almost a year straight.
He says Kratom cost him his home and almost his life. Chapman says this is a photo of his car after he fell asleep at the wheel on Kratom.
I never thought I would be doing something like that, you know, and taking money away from my kids and family.
Chapman says rehab was the hardest thing he's ever done.
It's the flu times 1,000. It's miserable aches and pains, sweating, nausea, vomiting, all of like the worst things you can think of.
Sarah Welty is a nurse who sees patients suffering from opioid withdrawals. She thinks a ban on Kratom that the city is discussing would be the safest choice.
If you're stepping away and saying this is a better choice because at least it's not fentanyl, you're still putting yourself at risk for the really terrible things that come along with it.
The manager of Smokers Outlet says a ban doesn't concern him and may actually be a good thing.
It would make our sales a little bit lower. I honestly wouldn't mind it that much. It's pretty addictive and a little scary.
And right now, Washington has no state mandated age restrictions to buy Kratom in the store. If you read these labels closely, at least on this bottle, it does advise against selling it to anyone under the age of 21. And both stores I visited today say that they always check customers' IDs. Reporting live in Spokane, I'm Mary Sheridan.
So, couple of things to unpack here. Number one, what happened to responsibility, accountability? He's a grown adult. So what if it had been $1,000 a week spent on alcohol that destroyed his life, or getting drugs, getting fentanyl on the streets? Where's that responsibility lie? So it's like, let's just go after
always
Kratom.
Coddling people who end up harming themselves, instead of saying, look, you know, maybe recognize that you have a problem and then, you know, proceed to help yourself. But it just, and months ago or a couple years ago, it was everybody over consuming the extracts to extreme amounts and claiming that they were spending $1,000 a week or $1,000 a day, or just these ridiculous amounts. And maybe they are. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If I could doubt that somebody has done that to themselves, but I'm tired of it being everybody else's fault that is not
Right.
being, you know, doing all that.
And falling asleep at the wheel. Dr. Kirsten Smith did a study on Kratom and driving, and it shows it is safe when you're driving. She has a whole study on it with people.
So it can't be the and it would have to be such an excessive amount of powder. I mean, just excessive, an amount that you probably you'd have vomited by then.
Well, he was saying he was addicted to the extracts.
See, extract. So it's 7 or it's
little bottles,
both the little
right?
bottles. And it's always about the little bottles and people wanting to take 3, 4, 5 bottles a day. I just don't get it. I just don't.
Yeah. And then don't get me started on the manager of the smoke shop. Good, let them do it. People are addicted. So, dude, you are a manager at a shop where you think these products are not good and people are getting addicted. Why do you work there?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
That story was just crazy.
More drama.
I think he likes the money.
Agreed. And I feel like they pointed out like all of the big, you know, headliney stuff, you know, all the buzzwords. They made sure that all made it into the story.
Yeah. Well,
But
you know, it's
I
always
agree.
views and clicks that they want. So,
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
but I'm just tired of grown adults just not taking responsibility. So, sorry, go ahead.
No,
Becky.
you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say I agree with the comments. Like make it make sense. You know, I just saw another one that said that $100 is the average order amount. And
That was Christopher.
Yeah, as another person in the industry, I totally agree. $100 is the average amount. So it's just insane to hear these large numbers in short time spans. I just don't understand.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. I'm going to play a cool video I came across. I know many of y'all know who Claudia Morandi is. She's a huge champion for the chronic pain community. She's a chronic pain patient herself, suffers from debilitating Crohn's. And she's not a Kratom consumer, but she's a big advocate for us too. She lives in Rhode Island where it's been banned for years and years and years. It just got lifted. She would go to the state house and testify in support of Kratom every time it got brought up because they kept trying to get it unbanned. And the woman doesn't even use it, but she knows how it helps people in her community that suffer from pain and can't get their opiates
Because our
anymore.
community is blowing their brains out or suiciding themselves and their wives.
Right.
Yep.
And even if you survive through attempted suicide, like myself, you still have to cope with and get through what put you in that mindset in the first place. And that's a lifetime of illness that's incurable. And we're in pain. And then we have to hurry up and, try to, like me being here with you guys. This is a day a week. These 2 days a week poop me out, but I'm so blessed to be here. There's just no help for anybody. So I appreciate Claudia in that regard, even though she's never
Me too.
taken it. So let people have the option and just take responsibility for themselves. 100%.
Absolutely. Let me play y'all this
Right.
cool video that she just posted in support of Kratom.
And I was just talking with somebody in Rhode Island about the war on Kratom. See, mainstream media is conflating 7-OH with Kratom for a reason. They only want the consumer to hear Kratom is bad. Just like you heard the Sackler family is bad. OxyContin is bad. So that's why they're conflating it. This is a well-oiled machine that you folks need to learn about. The war on Kratom is being brought to you by the makers of Suboxone. They want you on Suboxone. They don't want you to be able to have access to Kratom. And that's why so many of these addiction doctors are starting to, say, why don't you try Suboxone for Kratom? Don't let them do that to you. Do not let these people put you on the hardest opioid to physically withdraw from. The war on Kratom is being driven by the makers of Suboxone. The war on Kratom is being driven by Kratom lawyers. They're finding those grief-stricken moms and dads and they're exploiting them. And that's why mainstream media is talking so much about Kratom. This is all done by design. Do you think these journalists just woke up one day and said, well, let's talk about Kratom today? No, they're paid to demonize Kratom. Remember, there's lawyers behind this effort. The makers of Suboxone are behind this effort. And for all I know, they're working with each other. You must protect Kratom or you're going to lose access to Kratom. So when there's a Kratom hearing on, you need to attend it. And like I've said many times, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not a Kratom consumer. But does Kratom save lives? You better believe it saves lives. Thank you for supporting our efforts at the Doctor Patient Forum. Hang in there, folks. We're trying to get you help.
I love her.
That
She's
is
such
just
an
so
amazing
amazing.
advocate. I wish when I got dropped from pain management through no fault of my own, I wish I had found her. I believe me, I was on Twitter looking for who can help me deal with this. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do next. And I did find a great pain advocate who gave me some advice, but I hadn't heard of Claudia. Has Claudia been around a long time? This would have been 2019.
She came in as I was exiting originally with eye pain. I think around 2017.
Okay. I guess she just was on Twitter.
Yeah, my ordeal happened in 16. And so I know she came right. I should have probably too. I just wasn't well to be able to do it, reach out to anybody at that time for years. But she did. She was right there. So I'm pretty sure 17.
I didn't see her until just, when we started in a couple years, 2 years ago.
I knew her right away. Was sharing her right away. Right. Engaging and all that, but I didn't have any contact, any personal contact, But I'm just glad that she ended up being there. Her and Bev. And doing
I agree.
the loudest voice in the chronic pain community.
They really are. They've really made a name for themselves. Watching them grow, Doctor Patient Forum is pretty amazing. Crazy Legs, that's great that she was trying to help you. I mean, she seems like a real fighter and wants to help as many people as possible. I think that's amazing. I got one more video on TikTok I want to show y'all. I mean, I got other videos, but I moved over to TikTok. From our good friend Jordan at New Hope Botanicals. He always makes great entertaining videos, but really great educational ones too. And I came across a really good one, that very educational one I want to share with y'all. So let me see if I can get this full screen. Hold on. It's not letting me put it full screen. Okay. Is that full? Can y'all see it full screen now? This is weird. It won't let me do it full. Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry, wrong screen.
You're fine.
Let me try
You're
again. Let me try again. Now I got him. Okay, I got the right one now. It was still on Claudia's. Well, the way this, yeah, okay, I got it now. I was just on the wrong one because the way this works on StreamYard's a little, you gotta switch screens. All right, here we go.
So why exactly are extracts and 7-hydroxy not kratom? First, we need to understand what kratom truly is. Kratom is a leaf in the coffee family that contains over 50 different naturally occurring alkaloids. So extracts typically take one alkaloid called metragenine, and then they isolate it and amplify it to levels way higher than ever found in nature. You went around telling people that caffeine pills and coffee are the same exact product, people will look at you like you're kind of crazy. And the same thing applies to kratom. And when it comes to 7-hydroxy, that's a whole nother story. 7-hydroxy is not present within the leaf itself. It's only found in the powder because it's a post-harvest metabolite. 7-hydroxy used to be metragenine, but due to oxidation during the drying process, minuscule amounts of metragenine are converted into 7-hydroxy, but it's typically less than 0.0100%. That's why you'll find 0% 7-hydroxy in fresh kratom leaves and that trace amount in dried kratom powder. That's because of oxidation. So what companies will do is they will take a metragenine extract and then chemically convert it into 7-hydroxy. During this process, they unknowingly create unknown substances to science. One 80-milligram tablet of 7-hydroxy is more than 5,000 times stronger than the amount of 7-hydroxy found in dried kratom powder. You share more DNA with an ancestor from the 1600s than the amount of 7-hydroxy found in dried kratom powder. But if you went around telling people you were a pilgrim, people would think you're crazy.
It's so funny. Oh, love his humor. But that was interesting.
He
That
always
was,
makes me laugh.
yeah, that was an interesting video. Because it's not apples to apples, you know.
No, and I think that coffee pill to regular coffee is a great comparison
Yeah.
because that's very similar. It's just like extracts to our tea. It's not the same.
Exactly.
Mhm. It's like a cup of coffee compared to a coffee, or the caffeine, or the old, what were they called? I mean, I took them many years ago. A Vivarin, the caffeine tablet. Like, there's
Yeah.
still a difference between,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because those are extracts. That's an extract, so it's going to be stronger than your coffee. And I don't see it anymore, but they used to have all kinds of caffeine extract products at the grocery store, when you're at the checkout, like on the little thing there. I remember one time I was at just a regular grocery store, and I kid you not, they had this caffeinated chocolate bar. So I'm in my grocery line. I'm waiting for the person in front of me to finish. So I'm putting my stuff on. I'm standing there waiting. I look over to where they have all the stuff they're trying to sell you, right? It was this caffeinated chocolate bar, and it sounded so interesting, but it's right there for kids to grab. But I remember buying it because I love chocolate, and I'm like, oh, this might be something good when I'm, working late and I need a boost of energy. And I liked it actually, but I don't see stuff like that in those checkout aisles anymore. I wonder if they got stricter with having products like that.
Right, right. Because if a kid can grab it and says,
Like
I
a
want
Reagan.
this,
Right.
mom's more than likely not going to look at the packaging. They're just going to grab it and throw it up there because of where it's at.
And as Araya just said in the chat, the 5-hour energies are everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere.
Then they ended up coming out with the knockoff 5-hour energy that Dollar Tree had for a week.
That's what I was going to say.
Times, but they're still, it's caffeine and a mix of herbs and caffeine but those are always, out and about, and they can be abused. Once again, it depends on, how you're taking care of yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I remember those no-dose pills. Those were really popular a long time ago.
Exactly, those two.
Very popular.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's all kinds of extracts of
Sure.
things, you know,
Oh,
and it puts in something that's easier to consume. Like, I'm not a coffee drinker. I've never been a coffee drinker. It's too bitter for me. The only way I can drink coffee is put a ton of sugar, and then you just kind of ruin the whole thing. So it's like, I love coffee ice cream though, but that's because it's sweet. But
coffee.
I like some of those, you know, caffeine products. And I tell you what, I love my
Gum.
NeuroGum. My NeuroGum, but you know what? I said that because, you know, NeuroGum is clean caffeine. I love the way they make these products. It's like caffeine, B vitamins. I think L-theanine in it. Is it L-theanine? Something's in it that I like. So this, and I really understand the coffee drinker, the whole gotta have it in the morning, because I've never dealt with that. I've never been that way. And I love my NeuroGum because it tastes good, but I like the nice little jump to my morning I get with it. So I'm usually chewing a piece or two pretty much every morning. And I've been doing this for a while, but I do take breaks. And this morning I said to myself, don't take it today. If you wake up and you feel okay, just don't even take it. And so, yeah, I was like really groggy yesterday when I got up because my dog had woken me up at 5 a.m. She like, you know, she has to go out if she's crying like crazy at an odd hour. And she woke me up, and it's one of those wake ups that's like startling and you're so out of it. And I remember taking her out and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to go back to bed. I'm like, I know I'm going to have my NeuroGum when I get up. I'll probably have 2 of them. But this morning I felt fine when I woke up. I wasn't feeling groggy or anything. I'm like, I'm just not going to have it, you know? But I also know that if I don't have caffeine, I'm going to most likely get a headache and feel a little crappy for a day or two. So that some things that we consume will do that. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and when I was younger, I could take, you know, like a Vibrant or even a No-Dose or drink a pot of coffee, like drink coffee all day. But in my older age, because I'm getting up there, I can't tolerate it no more. My body doesn't even tolerate it very well. And if I do, I just have to go smaller. You know, I just have to have a little bit, which would be the equivalent of a nibble. But I can still, you know, have my coffee. I just, you know, can't, like the energy drinks and all that. I can't do them. I can't sit down with a whole one and have it. During the summer, sometimes I'll open one, and then what I'll do is I'll drink it over the week. It goes flat, but if I add it to something else with carbonation, then it's like a nice summertime drink, I guess you'd say. A little caffeine, like a spritzer, a non-alcoholic spritzer. And then that's kind of refreshing.
Yeah. But it's all about like things you like. We're grown adults, accountability. I'm not going to sit here and blame like the NeuroGum. I'm addicted to it because I feel like I got to have it, chew a piece of that every day because I need that caffeine. Like, so what? That's on me.
Right.
And I didn't want to have a caffeine withdrawal. So today I was so proud of myself not having my NeuroGum because it's like, yeah, I can not take it if I need to not take
And
it.
it doesn't
But
even matter.
it doesn't matter. We're adults. Who cares?
Yeah, everybody is so into somebody else's business that, like, I mean, in a mean way. It's
Yeah.
very mean to constantly judge other people when, you know,
People
those
need to just
people
do
wouldn't want
themselves.
it to be judged at all in active addiction and any other habits or addictions they have or nothing, but they will always turn around and judge other people, and it's just bizarre to me. It's just not
Right.
You know, it's just, I don't know if it's a mindset, if it's a mood, if it's a what, but, you know, we shouldn't treat people, you know, who cares? If you're not out robbing, stealing, trifling, then it does not matter. If you're not
Exactly.
hurting, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. You know how many times people will jump into, like, I'm sure they do it to y'all like they've done to me. They come into the comments on TikTok or wherever and say, why don't you stop taking Kratom for a few days and see how you feel? And I'm like, dude, what, y'all don't say that to people taking their opiates for chronic pain. Why would when I was in pain management, I didn't stop taking them. Nobody ever said, why don't you stop taking your opiates and let's see how you feel? I'm like, I'm not having problems in my life taking them. I'm not overusing them. It helps me have better quality of life so that I can function and do things back in those days. So interesting how nobody sits here and bullies you into like, you need to stop taking that and see how you feel because it's so bad for you, even though we're taking it so we can have quality of life. But then they say it all in Kratom world, why don't you stop taking it? See how you feel. And there's always somebody that struggled with addiction every time. And I'm not trying to be mean to anybody that struggles. I'm just saying there's dependency and there's addiction. They're two separate things. But for those of us that come from the pain community that have not had any addiction issues, I mean, I really, when people say stuff like that to me, it's just like, what the hell? You don't even know me.
That's right.
You don't know what you're talking about. If you had an issue, that's on you. I've never had an issue ever, and that's not my fault that I haven't had an issue like you've had an issue. So why do they have to go after people and harass people?
Bill, I just did a whole week break on the tea. Nothing happened. When I don't take the seven, nothing happens. You know? And if it did, I'd have to be accountable and responsible for that. But I certainly wouldn't turn around and go be high and mighty to somebody else. You know? Just people are cruel. People
Well,
just,
they're almost always hiding behind a keyboard. You know, it's almost always an anonymous account. They're not going to ever say that to you to your face in person. You know?
Yeah,
Yep.
hurt people.
Yes.
very much so.
Great way of putting it. Mic drop.
Or they're telling you what tea you should have or have not today, and they're smoking a cigarette. Or telling you how you should manage your life, and they're having a drink each night. Or just a number of scenarios, and it's just always, it doesn't make sense. Like,
Right.
Well, and I think a lot of people forget that not everything is for everyone. Kratom's not for everybody. Extracts aren't for everybody. Coffee's not for everybody. And we all, we all come into this life brand new, having to discover these things. And, it's our own journey. And sometimes we forget that.
Yeah. And everybody has their own journey.
That's right. And the journey itself becomes our teacher.
Right.
That's a great way of putting that.
Thank
I love that. Very
That's
beautiful.
really good.
One of my articles. Thank you. And it is, because we just learn as we go. And then we learn from any choice that we've made, and, take it or don't take it. Choose it or pass it up. I mean, very simple.
Yeah.
I agree. We don't need to be passing judgment.
Yeah. Great comment.
On people, for just trying to have a decent quality of life. I think that's so unfair.
Amen.
Yeah.
And yeah, totally with you, Kathleen.
I love that comment. I agree. People need to just mind their own business.
Yeah.
Stop being judgmental. Doesn't serve anybody at all.
And I think the news stories these days are really egging that on, like encouraging people to be more judgmental, especially about RT.
Definitely.
Well, and back to that Florida one, I mean, Breaking Bad on steroids. I mean, they're painting a picture.
Yeah.
So now people are like, oh my God, my neighbor says they take Kratom. I just saw this news story. When I see them next, I'm going to harass them.
Yeah.
That stuff is bad. You should have seen what was on the news.
Yep. They must have the guns and the explosives and all that stuff along in there too. You know what I mean? That's what I think they think.
Deborah says I drive a big motorhome around and it's never impaired my judgment at all. That's the thing. Like, if it was impairing our judgment when we drive, it'd be known. We'd hear about it. It'd be making the news, right?
Right, and the studies too.
Millions of adults taking Kratom every day. You would definitely hear about it somewhere.
Absolutely. I got this next video I'm going to play is an interesting one I had just come across, talking about FDA and going after 7OH. So I'm going to show y'all this one. Get your thoughts.
Know anything about the difference between kratom and then the concentrated synthetic byproduct 7-OH. So they don't know either. We're not talking about kratom. We're not targeting kratom. We're not trying to educate the world about kratom. We're right now focused on this dangerous synthetic concentrated byproduct called 7-OH that is an opioid, binds to the opioid receptor, defining it as an opioid.
All right, so FDA Commissioner Martin McCary here talking about 7-OH and Kratom, otherwise people say Kr8tom. This is the biggest thing that the FDA has been working on in the last couple of months. They actually tried to put forward a new Schedule 1 status. 7-OH is not an opioid, even classically, no matter how much he's trying to put it. It is a natural alkaloid of the kratom plant, the natural plant that grows in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And the FDA is trying to scare the public about this. This is a drug that is sold throughout the United States of America, but somehow the FDA and people in the Justice Department have criminalized it overnight. There was a seizure in Missouri that just happened in which you have the authorities and lawyers saying that 7-OH is now illegal. Now, this wasn't done without any input from the public. There hasn't been the formal scheduling status by the DEA, but people like Martin McCary at the FDA, people like RFK, who is at HHS, they are just very happy to ban this, even though we know many people use this as an alternative to opioids. And we just know what the consequences of a government over-criminalizing things, sending people to jail, seizing products, we know what that means. More research on that, consumerchoicecenter.org. Check out our paper on 7-OH, Kratom, and the differences between.
That was interesting. Good perspective and laying out all the facts. So I thought that was really well done. It's called the Consumer Choice Center. I've never heard of them.
I haven't either.
Some kind of advocacy group, but for lots of things, like just all different kinds of things. So,
But that sounds great. I mean, just in general, as adults, we should be given that choice, and
Yeah.
I totally agree with him.
right. Well, y'all's comments are on fire today. Y'all have lots to say. Whole lot to say. I love it. Let's see what. Oh, I have a really interesting short one to show y'all next. I came across that is very interesting.
Like, okay. And so before the end of that appointment, she grabbed my hands and she prayed with me.
Mm.
And I was like, I knew that was the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was the Lord that had let me go there and not feel so much shame. Because she was like telling me all the things about the 7-OH and how it binds to your brain receptors 14 times more than fentanyl.
Sounds like it's from hell.
That's what she said. She said, Kratom is from the devil and 7-OH is from his angels, the devil's angels.
Yeah. Go check out the rest.
Okay. Kratom is the devil.
What?
I know. You want me to play that part again? It goes kind of fast. Let me play that part again, because it comes at you quick. It kind of comes out of left field. If you blink, you might miss it. So, yeah, I'll play that part again.
13 times more than fentanyl.
Sounds like it's from hell.
That's what she said. She said, Kratom is from the devil and 7-OH is from his angels, the devil's angels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah, wow. That's
Wow is a good way to describe that one. Yeah.
but like I've said before, on that whole like 13 times more, 20 times more, whatever times more that they continue to compare to other medications, especially like my doctor and I had that conversation very recently about a different class of medicine, but he says that it even goes, for most things, that when you have different things. It's not necessarily that there's any one that's better or stronger. It's just dose dependent, and how how much is needed to work on that particular receptor or part of your body. It's not about things being stronger or less stronger. And I really wish that they would discuss that when they have these little facts coming out.
I agree. It's all in the way they say it, and they're doing it on purpose, I think.
It's misleading.
Yeah. Yeah. And back in the comments here, y'all were asking about that previous one. So is this site called Consumer Choice Center, which I've never heard of before. But it says that they are an independent, nonpartisan consumer advocacy group championing the benefits of freedom of choice, innovation, and abundance in everyday life. So it's their website is consumerchoicecenter.org. And just a reminder, with all the videos that I show a variety of videos here. I always put a link to all of them in the YouTube channel later. So here on YouTube, just check back later when I have a chance. In the description, I link to everything we watched. And I do that every week. So with any of these videos we watch, I always do that because I know sometimes some of y'all want to go back and watch it again, one of the videos we shared, or you want to share it with friends or whatever. So, but yeah, that was a really good one from that group. So now I'm definitely more interested in checking out their stuff. So let's see what's next. So many interesting videos to watch. I think what we're going to do next is I think we'll do my Madeline's favorite products this week segment real quick. And I have a video I want to play right after that as well. So, gosh, we're already at almost 2 hours. We've been here a while. Doesn't seem like doesn't the time
Wow.
go so fast? Like
It does. Definitely doesn't feel like almost 2 hours.
yeah, we're at an hour 42 already. Holy cow. Let me take you all off screen. Let me do my quick little, because this is more of a PSA thing. And this is strictly my opinion, but I've been doing my little new thing, Madeline's favorite products this week. So y'all seem to like this little new thing. So let me show y'all what I've been liking this week. Is show and tell. So as always, I love my EXP gummies, and it really helped. It was the other day, and I was having like really massive extra pain because a storm was coming, and back was hurting really bad, more than normal, and that's what happens with changing weather. And let me put their thing on here. Anyway, I love these. This is like the only kind of extract that I really like. And so this is a gummy, and they're actually big, and they're low dose. So I like that I can eat a whole one. It's one gummy is about 20 milligrams of Kr8tom extract. And I really like those a lot. And y'all been hearing me talk about my new favorite from Mitrospec, which has been Sarah's Secret Blend. And this has become one of my favorites. It's a blend of several different greens from Mitrospec. And they have a great discount for our community. If you put in code Kr8tom Stories, that they'll give you 40% off. And they were doing a big Black Friday sale. So I was stocking up on their ashwagandha capsules that I really like as well. And they do ship quick. They ship same day you order, which is really cool. And they've been having snowstorms there. And they posted a video on their social media of them in New Hampshire in the snow going to the post office. So they don't let the snow slow them down. So I'm super impressed with them. And then next up, Jaya. Y'all know I love Jaya. They're the ones with the 50-year-old Kr8tom trees. This is a small batch Kr8tom company, and I've been really enjoying this week. I rotate, so these have been my favorites right now, and I love their wild harvest, the 50-year-old trees. And for those that are regulars here, y'all saw I have videos they shared with me that I was able to share with y'all of the 50-year-old trees, and I've had them on the podcast as a young husband and wife, and they tell the story about how they do They work with one family. They actually went to Borneo in Indonesia. They spent months there researching kratom. This is before they started their own business, Kr8tom. And it's so interesting. They did a lot of research and learning everything about it. They went from farm to farm to farm. And they started working with some of these farmers, and they said it was the farmers that encouraged them to like start their own kratom company and sell it in the US. So they end up doing that. And it's so cool. So they only buy from this one family, and it's all wild harvest. It's not like a kratom farm where, it's like these are wild harvested trees. And the way they knew about the 50-year-old trees, they were talking to one of the elders in the community, and he's like in his 90s. And they were asking him how old like one of the trees were, and he talked about how it had been there since he was like 20 years old. So they were able to figure out like how old that these were 50-year-old trees. And it's just amazing to know that I can consume kratom from a tree where the leaves harvested off of that are 50 years old. I think that's super cool. And I really like their products a lot. And then the last one I'm really loving extra on this week is my Happy Hippo. I love Happy Hippo. And I've told you all that, like I'm not real big with reds, but I've been using this particular red with my green in the evening. It's this slow rainbow hippo. And so it's red, but it's a higher mid. That mid is 1.30. So it's a high, red mids are usually really low. And I think that's why it didn't work well on me based on how I am. But I've been adding this to my evening close to bedtime, and I feel like it's I'm getting great pain relief. And so I feel like I'm finally finding a red. I can't do just a single red as a dose, but I like mixing that with my green, and that's been really good. Also, remember, there's one more thing I want to show you from Mitrospec. So they're known for their blends, and they make all kinds of interesting blends that they do seasonally. Like they have their regular blends, but then they do these seasonal ones. And look at this one I got with my order, Santa Stash. Isn't that a great name? Santa Stash Blend. So they have like all different kinds of cool, interesting blends that they create. And I think that's just awesome. So those are my favorites this week. I'm always, like I said, I always rotate, and I like to try different brands. And those have been my regulars right now to share with y'all.
And I like hearing about them.
Well, that's great to hear, because I mean, I didn't think anybody would care. I figure everybody like, no, we don't care. We don't care.
No, I love hearing about the different products and how they work, and just extra things that we can all put in our toolboxes and get a great deal on them too,
Absolutely. And it's good to support, all the vendors in the
Right.
community, especially right now.
And I do a lot of, I don't just buy from anybody. I do a lot of research. I like to kind of get to know the company. On my website, Kratom Stories Podcast, I have a vendors page. And these are the ones that I've vetted, that I've gotten to know. Every brand on there, I use myself. I've gotten to know pretty much everybody there on this. I pretty much know everybody on this list. So I think it's so important to know where your kratom, know that it's safe, know that it's third-party lab tested, and the companies that care, And I love Taunton Bay, Becca. You know that. Y'all have great kratom too. I throw them all into the mix. I mean, they'll be like one day I'm like, which one do I want to have for this my afternoon kratom? And it's like, here's some Taunton Bay. I think I'll have this one today. I don't think everybody needs to be doing that. That's just me. I just started off with a couple of brands, and rotating always worked well for me. So I like doing that. But then as I try other brands, now I have this whole arsenal, and I'm like, because I fall in love with so many different brands, and I just like all these different, and I get to know the people, and I'm like, so I always have a lot to choose from. Craig is asking, how does ashwagandha make you feel, Becca?
For me, it's more of a relaxing herb, but at the same time, I don't like it at night. I don't think it helps me
Really?
personally with sleep. Yeah, no, it
I love it
doesn't.
at night.
Because I think ashwagandha has some effect on the adrenals, and that's something to maybe research and confirm for anybody listening.
Huh.
But
Okay.
that might be like why it's an issue for me. But I love it as a daytime herb, and yeah, it's more of a calming daytime herb for me.
Okay. Interesting. See, I like using it at night. And so what I've been doing recently is I get the ashwagandha capsules from Mitrospec, and they're big. They're 1 gram capsules. So I mean, it's a lot of ashwagandha in one capsule, but I tolerate it really well. I feel a nice, it's not overwhelming for me personally. It's not overwhelming, but I just feel this sense of calm. And so I like taking it in the evening. Now I don't take it every evening, but I'll take it at least several times a week, if not more, but not every night. And then my other favorite new thing is L-theanine in the evening. And I know L-theanine is something you can do day or night. It's in my NeuroGum, which I only do in the morning since it has caffeine in it. But I have the L-theanine capsules that I've gotten off of Amazon. And lately, what I've been doing is having one of those every evening. And I feel very much the same type of effect I get from ashwagandha. This just nice sense of calm. It's not overpowering, but it's just nice. And I feel like I'm sleeping a little bit better since I've been kind of doing this. Sometimes I'll take them both in the evening. Sometimes I'll do one or the other. So I've just been kind of doing this rotation, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a great way of putting it, the sense of calm, because ashwagandha's in I don't know if you call it a class or a group, but it's like it's called an adaptogen, because it kind of like teaches your brain to adapt to things like stressors. And it's a very, very old one that's been used for hundreds if not thousands of years, and definitely a big fan.
Which one is an adaptogen? Which one?
Ashwagandha.
Interesting. I just have learned so much about plant medicine since becoming a Kr8tom consumer. I did not know nearly as much about this stuff and never really paid much attention to it. So, yeah, I know Blue Lotus is a popular one too. I tried it once a long time ago and I had a bad experience, so I never took it again.
Yeah, that's another good one, but it's a hit or miss for me. I prefer over Blue Lotus California Poppy instead. It's not like the regular poppy, but it is kind of similar to ashwagandha. I think it is like a
Interesting.
gentle, calming herb as well.
But just like with Kr8tom and other botanical products, it can affect everybody differently.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
like I did not have a good experience with Blue Lotus, but a lot of people love Blue Lotus. So yeah, it's just, I'm always experimenting and trying things, but I'm loving just L-theanine, ashwagandha, sometimes both, sometimes one or the other. Yeah. Yeah, L-theanine. I thought it was L-theanine, but people say L-theanine. So you've been taking a long time, Angela. Okay, interesting. Is that something you take every day? Is that something you can take every day? I feel like I want to take it every day now because I just really like how I feel in the evening when I take one of those.
If I'm not mistaken, L-theanine's in a lot of
It's in a lot of
vitamin
it's in a lot of
and
products.
yeah, it's in a lot of things.
Because I have like different gum. I have different like mushroom gummies I like. I have a CBD gummy I like, and it's wild when you pay attention and read like the label, what's in it. It's like, oh, this one has L-theanine. Oh, this one has ashwagandha in it. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize like some of these. So then it's like, okay, well, if I take this gummy, then I don't want to take the ashwagandha because it has ashwagandha too. Like, I don't want to take too much. So important to. Okay, Angela says every day. Interesting. Well, I'm loving L-theanine, and I might make that an everyday thing. We shall see. All right, so after sharing my favorites this week, and we're talking about the importance of buying Kr8tom from good, reputable vendors that do things right, I want to play a cool video from my friends at Super Speciosa, one of the brands that does everything right. And if you don't know, their capsules, their Kratom capsules were used in the FDA single dose study that happened a few years ago. And I think that is super cool, like to know that it was their products that the FDA study used. But they have a really cool video I want to play for y'all.
What if we told you there's a leaf that comes from deep within the rainforests of Southeast Asia that's been used for centuries by the native people to promote energy and wellness? Mitragina speciosa, or Kratom as it's commonly known, is a tropical evergreen tree related to the coffee plant, and it's helping millions of Americans every single day. After starting our business in 2016, we realized quickly that there was a huge gap in the market for quality Kratom products that are pure and unadulterated. We set out on a mission to fill this gap. So we began testing leaves from different suppliers, experimenting with our manufacturing processes, and looking for solutions to these problems. GMP, or Good Manufacturing Practices, are the lens through which we view and assess quality and safety here at Super Speciosa. We've developed a quality system that minimizes quality defects and maximizes transparency. It's challenging to properly lab test Kratom because of the way it comes over from Indonesia. So we went to the drawing board and designed a process to batch, blend, sample, and test our Kratom so that we get test results that are truly representative of what our customers receive. Before packaging the Kratom leaf, we sift it to ensure a fine grind and remove impurities. Using specialized equipment, we virtually eliminate human contact after the batching process. The result is a clean, properly lab-tested product that we think our customers can feel really confident in. It was really important to us to provide our customers with more transparency. So on all of our product packaging, you'll find a QR code. The customer can scan this QR code with their mobile device, and it will link them directly to all the lab certificates for the exact batch they're holding in their hands. This is a really big deal because a lot of Kratom products on the market are not up to par. Super Speciosa is proud to be recognized by the American Kratom Association as a GMP qualified vendor that customers can trust. Kratom advocates deserve transparency, so we're stepping up to the plate. Join us as we raise the bar for quality in the Kratom community and educate the public about this great plant that is helping millions of Americans every single day. This Kratom isn't your average cup of tea.
That's such a great video. I love that.
It was. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Very
And
fancy.
that's what we
Yeah.
want to buy is from companies that do things right. They're not all manufacturers. I mean, some are, some aren't. Some just get it and then, do their thing and then, they're I mean, I just know they're all different. Not everybody does the same thing. As far as because I know some companies that are manufacturers also they work with companies that want to sell Kratom but under their own packaging, even though it's still all being done the right way. I guess that's the way I'm trying to explain it. I feel like I'm
Absolutely.
complicating what I'm trying to say
Right.
more than it is, but because there's a lot of different Kratom brands, but a lot, I don't know a lot, but some actually it's from a manufacturer that's the manufacturer's true products, but under their own, it's called white labeling, where it's under their own label. Like if somebody want to start a Kratom company, right? But you're like, well, I don't want to invest crazy amounts of money to have the clean room to do all the stuff. Let me just buy it from the manufacturer. It does all that, but we make it our brand.
Yeah,
That's
it gives them a chance to do it themselves. But like you said, if they don't have the proper place to do all the manufacturing, they're getting it from the people that do have the proper places to manufacture, and they're able to help the people that in their community that way too. So I think that's a great idea.
And you'd be surprised, there are a lot of vendors out there that use that, but also like a lot of food out there uses the same process.
Yeah.
Just like, the off brand or whatever. Like
They just don't talk about. They just don't share that information. But
Yep.
yeah, it's actually, and I know that for the 70H, I mean, many times it's just this handful of manufacturers, but then there's other brands that want to sell it. And they buy it from the manufacturer. Everything's done. It just needs to be under their own brand name and their
there's nothing
packaging.
wrong with that.
Yeah. You just want to make sure the Kratom you're ingesting is being manufactured properly.
Absolutely.
Because when it comes from overseas, it still needs to go through a whole process because it can pick up contaminants. It's not like kratom powder comes from Indonesia instantly. You know, if it's coming by boat, that can take like 2 months. And like with Jaya kratom, one of the reasons why they're able to sell such fresh kratom, and there is a premium for that, like it is a little bit more costly, but it's great quality, is theirs comes by air. So that cuts down the time. It's not taking 2 months to get here. It's considerably less, but it's a much more expensive process to have it come by air than by boat. But once kratom comes over here, no matter how, they still got to go through the whole process of testing, doing all that testing and making sure there's no contaminants. And it seems like it's a lot to do. You know, when we consume our kratom, I don't think we realize how much goes into it. That's why that video was great, because you're seeing like a whole process.
It's a lot, yeah.
And they explained it really well in that video. Now their packaging looks a little different now with Super Speciosa. That video is actually from like 5 years ago on their website, but on their YouTube page. But it's great info, and it really just shows you like, wow, like this is how things need to be done by every kratom company.
Yep, I agree.
And I have a coupon code 20% off with Kratom Stories. There were a couple of comments I wanted to get to while we were watching that video that I didn't. I wanted to wait till afterwards. Maybe I missed them. I thought I saw a few others. Yeah, Christopher says pre-testing in Indonesia. They do like initial, yeah, and then y'all test when you receive it. Yeah, because what's common is when a kratom company gets their kratom here is they got to do their testing first. So it does not, my understanding, Christopher, it gets quarantined, right? Like y'all receive it, you test it and quarantine it until you get the results back.
Yep, and that's how it should be, definitely, unless
Yeah.
you're using direct to, unless you're not opening the package or what, like there's all sorts of rules around that, but absolutely anything that you get, if you're opening it, you're repackaging it, it should be tested by you as well.
Right. Well, we have done our 2 hours, our usual time. I think we'll call it a day here. Lots of videos we watched today. Lots of good
Lots
stuff.
of them. And we'll be in school tomorrow at 3 Eastern time for our school support group, or Kratom, for the support group.
Kratom Real Talk, yeah.
Yeah.
Our support group on Thursdays and Sundays, which is always nice. Yeah. And then
I like
AKA
that.
has a webinar on, I believe it's Monday evening, right? Is that right? Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
It's Monday evening, December 8th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
okay. And in the chat, it was saying that there's a Kansas City hearing on Tuesday. So
Yeah. So thank you to whoever posted that.
Thank
And
you.
if anybody wants to get the link to AKA's Zoom call, if you're not on the email list, you didn't get their email, go to protectkratom.org. You can always go there. They always have the latest at protectkratom.org, and so there should be a link to sign up for the Zoom call. And they almost always live stream it on YouTube as well on their YouTube channel. So, yeah, Christopher says that they wait until release testing comes back before we put it up for sale. Raw kratom is kept off the premises for quarantine. It's so interesting learning all this stuff.
it is, and I think that's important because I think that is one of the most important things in advocacy, is knowing that the information that you're giving is correct, like the education on it. So
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, thank you to everybody hanging out with us today. Always fun.
thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Always a great time hanging out, watching videos together, talking about things, learning from each other. I love it.
Ma'am.
I appreciate y'all being part of this journey for 2 years old. I can't believe Kratom Gal's 2 years old. That's so cool.
2 years.
I know. And before you know it, we're going to be saying 3 years.
Right. Exactly.
flies.
Exactly. But the podcast is also 2 years old, and
Mhm.
Kratom Real Talk over at school is 2 years old. I started all of these things December of 2023. It's very me to just do it all. That's very me to do. So yeah.
And you did it.
Happy anniversary, Madeline. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just love doing all this stuff. I mean, this kind of stuff I've been doing for the last 30 years is bringing people together on communities online. I started my first online community January 1996, so it's going to be 30 years next month. I can't believe how long I've been doing this type of work, and also in the digital marketing space since also January 1996. So yeah, see my pattern. Like I always do everything at once. I don't mean to. It just always works out that way, you know. But yeah, appreciate everybody hanging out. Thanks for joining us, Bunny. Always great seeing you here. Great seeing everybody.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Be sure to share this YouTube video out and the podcast episode also on YouTube and all the different podcast players, including Spotify and Apple. And yeah, come join us tomorrow at school. KratomRealTalk.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
We'll see y'all. I'm going to close out with our "You Can't Ban My Roots" song. And of course, we're going to watch Becca jam out for a moment.
You can't ban roots, nah, 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 nah. You can't ban my truth, nah, 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 nah. Hey, Florida, we see the game. HB 1489, not today. Natural leaf, ancient tree, now they wanna make it a felony. Nah, we ain't playing that corporate tune. Kratom's the voice of 1,000 moons. From the fields to the streets to the healing hands, you can't kill what the earth commands. They assess certification, regulation, tricks, just another play to make the people sick. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't ban my roots, I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free, I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth, you can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. Mail orders ban, remote sales cut. Who's that help? Big pharma's gut. They don't want plants, they want pills. They don't want cures, they want bills. But guess what? We ain't that dumb. We'll shout this message till the war is won. Kratom's our anthem, Kratom's our right. HB 1489, we fight tonight. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't ban my roots, I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free, I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth, you can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. You can't outlaw the trees, you can't outlaw the breeze, you can't outlaw the dreams. We are Kr8tom, we are free. You can't ban my roots, I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free, I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth, you can write your lies, but the people rise. No